proceed.
Yes. So I think before I need to introduce the organization, so I'm
And yourself.
Yeah, I'm Mako. I'm Mako Rabanzo. I'm the Chief Executive Volunteer and co-founder of I Am Making a Difference, or what we call I Am MAD. And at the same time, I'm also the head for activation support of Metrobank. So yeah, so I work with Metrobank, and that's my day job. And at the same time, I have this volunteer organization which I run for.
But let's repeat that. The difference between you and many organizations is you are not going the direction of having permanent staff. Everybody you have are volunteers.
Yes, yes.
Whereas
That's
most of
actually-
the others want to have at least a few permanent staff.
Yes.
So that they're the only among all our finalists and awardees, the one that's looking at a purely volunteer setup up to his level. All of them must have jobs.
Yes.
The others, some are not. They are full-time workers. So that's an important difference.
Yes, yes. Thank you for really putting that up, because that's really
So, but in Metrobank, you're a full-time
Yes, sir.
permanent employee.
Yes, sir. That's my day job. So that's where I get my allowances for my volunteer organization. So that's actually our...
Wala sa sweldo pa. Ang sweldo niya, mga ano yan sa mga tao.
So yun. So that's actually what we would like to highlight the volunteer organization, because it's like Rotary, sir, that diba, may mga kanya-kanyang trabaho, pero they have really their time dedicated to the volunteer organization. So
But at a younger age, with fewer financial resources.
Yes, sir.
Big difference yun.
Yes, yes, you're right. So, ayun, updates from the organization. When I won in 2006, the only project we had was this MAD camps. So what we do is we go from place to place, teaching kids values, Filipino values, on how to make a difference. So we teach these 10 MAD commitments. These are basic steps on how to make a difference. From praying when they wake up, hugging their parents, putting trash on the right place, maliliit na bagay na pwedeng gawin ng mga bata para gumawa ng
Tsaka for a
pagbabago.
certain age group, di ba?
Yes, that's for grades 5 and 6. So that's the main program that we implemented when I won. But
Excuse me, you see the difference, no? Sina Clarissa are grade 1 to 3 and 4. Sila
4, 5, 6.
5 and 6.
Intermediate to.
Yes.
Oh, yung CRC, kaya they're close with Clarissa kasi they're also with the younger age. Grade 1 to 3 sila.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so-
that's the reason why we focus on grades 5 and 6, because that's the developmental stage wherein we still the activities that we do is up to them. So parang mas bagay sa kanila, they have this development stage na nakukuha pa nila yung mga tinuturo namin, kasi the activities that we do are morely workshops, team buildings. So when we try doing it sa lower grades, the kids can't actually grasp the values still because they're too young. So when we through the years that we're doing the camps, we realized that the age gap of the activities na bagay is actually grades 5 and 6 there. But after winning in CSR Youth Awards, the organization transformed into more, parang it became a home of projects of the volunteers. Kasi at first, it was just a project of me and my co-founder. But then, we realized that after doing the camps, we are not having impacts. We are not just having impacts with the kids, but also with the volunteers. So we realized na mas malaki yung impact na ginagawa namin sa mga volunteers namin who are employees. So parang we saw the impact na, okay, after they have volunteered with us, after doing the project that I initiated, they were transformed into a more passionate Filipino, trying to really have this not just post on Facebook, hashtag para sa bayan, but they are really doing something for the country. So they became passionate, they tried to do something else aside from what we do for the country. So after that MAD camp, we had several projects. We call it passion projects for the volunteers, which we entertain. Kasi sabi ko sa kanila, I want you to experience what we have experienced. So yung paggawa ng project, pag-isip ng mga konsepto, yung pag-tap ng mga networks, I want you also to feel the satisfaction after doing that. So what we did, we supported volunteers who has their passion projects and housed it in I Am Making a Difference. So for example, we have this MAD Talks wherein we go to universities, we go to places to deliver, to share volunteer stories, which is a passion project of our one of our volunteers. And eventually, it became a big program na we entered it in tayo, the 10 Accomplished Youth Organizations. I think and it won. Tapos we have partnered with universities calling us to do the Mad Talks. It's like actually a TED Talks type. Then we went to Meralco Theater, did a big forum on volunteer stories. So yung organization, it became not just a project of mine but and my co-founder, but it became a home for volunteers who has a passion project but doesn't have really the network and the structure and the connections to implement their projects. The recent one, we have this Madonna and Kapitan Bookmark. It's actually promoting sharing, the value of sharing, and the value of dreaming deep. So from that, kasi yung volunteer namin is a librarian, and he wanted to put up a library. Tapos he want to share the value of reading and all. So we helped him create this project, and now yung project na yun, we brought it to several schools and it's ongoing. So from that simple project na ginawa ko, na sinartan ng co-founder ko, it became now a home of these passion projects of different volunteers from MAD. And we continue doing that, and we continue to really inspire our volunteers to get out of their comfort zone and have the time to volunteer, because that's the main objective. The ultimate goal of our organization, from just implementing a MAD camp for kids, the ultimate goal of our organization is for our volunteers to actually say, I am making a difference in their own little and simple and meaningful ways. So, really, kahit maliit na paraan, kahit sa opisina, kahit na pagkatapos, kahit anong passion mo. Yun rin, the difference also is we use the passions of the volunteers. For example, we have a volunteer who is in PR and marketing. So more on yung sa organization. So that's what he contributes rin kapag sa organization. So he handles the PR and marketing. So it's really using your own individual passions and putting it into parang contribution to the organization. So that's the difference of I am making a difference, or I am at before and now.
Maybe my question is, what was your inspiration for you creating this I Am Mad organization? What's your story like that made you?
Yeah. So I think that question was also asked during my interview in the CSR Awards 3 years ago. Well, I am from Basilan, sir. I grew up and I had my wisdom in Lamitan, Basilan. As you know, Basilan is very branded
Exciting.
as Abu Sayyaf and all. Ayun. So I had the first-hand experience with the Lamitan siege when Abu Sayyaf came and got Rachel Burnham and all. So with that experience, I told myself that I need to do something for the kids, specifically for grade schoolers. Plus, my dad is a soldier, so it's been 30 years since he's missing in action, and I'm 30 years old right now, so it's meaning I haven't had the opportunity to really see my dad and say I love you to him, and thank him for all the things that I have received right now. So that made me realize that I need to I want the kids not to feel the incompleteness that I felt during childhood, plus the experience I had in Basilan. So that married and resulted to the project that I started, which is the Mad Camp for Kids.
And what was the first thing that you did? What yung
It
relating
was
to your experience?
yes, it was just actually, sir, a distribution of school supplies, because all we wanted was to just pay it forward. Then after doing that simple project, my co-founder and I told ourselves that we need to continue it, and we need to expand it, not just by giving school supplies, but also teaching them values, because that's what I learned from in school at home rin, that sige, magbibigay ka ng school supplies, pero pagkatapos nun, ano mangyayari? Dapat may mamabaon ka sa kanila na hindi hindi lang mawawala, hindi matatapos, hindi after gamitin wala na. So values is something that it's really in it and you will bring it up until sa tatanda ka na. So yun po yung inano namin. So we started I started crafting the 10 commitments from the experiences rin, from the trainings, from the workshops, from the conferences I attended way back when I was still in high school and college. Then we started teaching and advocating these 10 commitments to kids. And apparently, eventually, without actually really thinking that it will become a big organization, it did. Kasi I believe it was purely done with passion lang. And purely the intention is just to really share that love to the kids that I wanted to share also to more kids.
How big an organization are you now, together with your kids?
Yeah. So right now, sir, it's been 10 years. We're going to 10 years already. Next year, we are celebrating 10 years since we started the organization. Then we've been to 50 areas all over the Philippines. It's from Basilan, Sulut, Awitawi, Zamboanga, Davao, and even to Batanes, Leyte. So we're all over the Philippines. And from 2 volunteers, we have now more than 500 volunteers. And from the 10 kids that we started, we now have like more than 2,000 kids all over the Philippines. So that's how big it is. And we never expected that to be. So parang una, kami lang, parang sige, gawa lang tayo ng outreach. Tapos, pagkatapos nun, sir, we realized, okay, we need to continue this. And we never thought that we'll be getting awards just like BCYF, CSRU awards na tayo, and other awards that were given to us because of that initiative.
Impressive growth, no? And on the other side, how, in terms of effectiveness, no? Of course, you've been growing, you've been multiplying in terms of volunteers and mentees by volunteers. How do you measure your effectiveness?
Well, sir, that's actually a good question. Kasi in MAD, we don't actually have a measurement of success. Kasi for us, when you do a camp, expected it will be a success. Kasi we define success na parang if someone, if you were able to touch a life, then that's successful already. Because our objective is actually to inspire someone to volunteer. But to really answer your question, sir, we have this dating beneficiary. His name is Damhar. So he's part of the first ever camp that we did in Basilan. And after 7 years, he's now a volunteer of I Am Making a Difference. So from being a beneficiary, now he is a volunteer. And not just a volunteer, but he will lead a camp next month for Tawi-Tawi. So I think that's one of the best stories that we can share in effectiveness in what we do, because there's a result, there's an impact na yung dating batang tinutulungan namin nakasama sa camp, ngayon siya na mismo ang gumagawa ng camp niya at tumutulong rin sa ibang tao para mag-volunteer at to have that values that we advocate.
Do you support them in any way? Like if I were to do a camp, what would your participation be?
I personally, sir, as the organ.
Or as an org?
As an org. Ayun, I always say that to them kasi if I'll ask them, kasi sir, ang dynamics is if you want to do a camp, we don't actually do a camp na parang pino-force lang. Like, okay, ikaw gumawa ka ng camp sa area mo. No, it should be voluntary din because that's the nature of the organization. So if someone volunteers and do a camp in their area and become a builder, the organization supports him or her through the process and to the networks that we have. Like for example, kasi sa MAD, hindi lang siya, pag ikaw may gusto, hindi lang ikaw yung gagalaw, it's the whole organization. So we have this service team who provides support to the builder kung ano yung kailangan nila. Like for example, if he needs to raise school supplies, so we have this marketing team who helps in promoting, resourcing, and all. Yun. Tapos, like me personally, I meet them and provide them ample inspiration to do it. Kasi na-realize ko rin yun, sir, na sinasabi ko nga, kasi it's been 10 years na I always tell them that even though wala na ako sa organization, you can still do it. Well, effective siya kasi nangyayari pa rin yung mga camps even though I'm not there. But for them na nandun talaga ako physically, it's a big impact rin for them to see me, talking to them, mentoring them on what to do, and to really engage myself to them. So, it's important, sir, na mayroong physical connection din dun sa mga tao na gumagawa na.
In your opinion, from your humble beginnings, what have been the most significant projects that other people have done using your, the things that have happened that have really made you feel, wow, okay to.
Siguro, sir, yung when a volunteer volunteers again and again and again, even though it's been how many years na, parang they kept on coming back. So I think that's one of the things na kahit when nung nag-volunteer siya, maliit pa lang kami, and now it's big, but nandun pa rin siya. I think that's something that I treasure. Kasi hindi siya nawawala doon, and kahit busy na siya, kahit may pamilya na siya, he still makes time and way to still be involved in the organization.
That's where the values come in, di ba? Kasi nai-embed eh.
Yes,
Nai-embed
nakuha niya na eh.
No, but in terms of a project per se, like what project did you find to be quite innovative and successful?
I think the Mad Talks, sir. That's one of the actually second biggest project na I am making a difference. Kasi from a simple thought of just sharing volunteer stories, it became an avenue and a celebration of volunteer stories already. And we've been awarded by Tayo. So it's a validation that we are doing something and we have contributed to this society through sharing of volunteer stories.
Where did you hold it? Where did you have it?
We hold it, sir, actually in different places. Whenever we do camps, it's like a bundle type na kapag gumagawa kami ng camp, there's also a Mad Talks. For example, when we went to Batanes, so when we had a camp there, there's also a Mad Talks there. Ayun. But every year, we have this in Meralco Theater in partnership with One Meralco Foundation. So we gather youth. We call, tapos yun, sir, may bayad na. So parang, noong una, we just call on people to attend our talks, and we even actually experience just getting 3 youth to attend our Mad Talks, but still we continue sharing our volunteer stories. Up to now, we have this Meralco Theater, and people are paying, not for registration, but for just to have that fee na pupunta ako, and they get something from the event, like t-shirts and all. So I think yun yung mga success stories na from a simple thought, nagiging project siya, and it is being implemented continuously, not just by me. Kasi at first, ako lang, sir, ang nag-deliver ng talks. But now, yung ibang tao na rin yung mga co-volunteers ko. So, yung impact nun, parang you empower people to deliver their volunteer stories. One time, sir, yung isang volunteer is an introvert. Pero because of the Mad Talks, he was able really to share and remove had the courage and be on stage to share his volunteer story. So, yun yung ma-impact na nakikita namin sa Mad Talks na ginagawa na.
Change the person?
Yes, actually. Yeah, you really made a difference. Yun yung sinasabi namin.
You've also changed your organization.
Yes.
Kasi...
Yes, sir. Actually, that's important rin. Kasi although you change your ways, you change your activities, but you still have the same objective of really making a difference. So although nag-change na kami ng strategies, nag-change na kami ng activities, we innovated ways, but still we remain to our commitment, to our objective, to our vision, to really make a difference in some ways.
Apart from a co-working space, what else should you think we should consider to support our awardees?
I insert the network because BCYF has a big network. So, just actually the prestige. Kasi every time when we enter in awards, when we do proposals, we mention that I am an awardee. And actually, sir, tama nga yun na hindi lang po yung tao yung award, but the organization. Siguro, sir, when you award the individual, you should also mention the organization and present a separate plaque parang because of this individual, you will also recognize the organization. Just like what we do kasi I previously worked with Metrobank Foundation. So when we award teachers, outstanding teachers and soldiers. So what we do, sir, is when we award the teacher, we also award the school of the teacher. So para I think it can also be the same for the CSR Youth Award. When you award the individual who started the organization, but also you also award the organization. Kasi it is something to, or like for example for us, right?
So there's no need for any financial reward.
Financial, sir, I think it is necessary. Like for me, kasi we need seed money to create, to fund a project that we want to implement. So what we do is we really shed out personally, and sometimes it's hard to really raise funds, and financial funds from big organizations siguro can help to fund that. Siguro seed money. Tapos later on, if that project will flourish and be implemented, then pwede pang support back up more funds para mas ano siya. Then yun nga sir, yung co-working space, siguro I really recommend somewhere in Manila area or Makati.
Pero pag Manila, you have to pay. Okay lang yan. Kasi may kuryente dito.
Yun sir. Kasi like for now, based on experience, we're having hard time looking for a place where to meet, where to brainstorm and have conferences and discuss our projects, monthly meetings. Kasi we stay in cafeterias, mga Starbucks. So sobrang na yung Starbucks sa amin.
Mahal na rin yan.
Yes, kasi we need to buy coffee. So nawawala yung parang sayang sir. So sana there's an avenue for us to converge where kung saan malapit sa amin. Kasi especially for us, since we are working, so it's really a time na parang, sige, after office hours lang talaga. Yun na yung sir, for example, yung mga projects na meron kami, mga tie-ups with companies, buti na lang, they allow us to meet after office hours or during weekends. Kasi yun lang yung time namin.
Actually, in relation to funding, that was my question actually before. I was about to ask, how was funding like, in IMMAT, and how do you ensure continuity of the project? Like, I feel concerned because when I heard you, in terms of funding, you just shell out.
Yes, sir.
Mayaman siya.
Until when can you do that, right?
Hindi naman sir mayaman. I just dedicate,
Bigyan ni Mr. Sobrepeña ng pera.
Well, Mr. Sabrapenya really supported my project kasi he allowed me to have leaves before to do the project. But sir, kasi yung sustainability on funds comes in when new volunteers also volunteer in the organization. Kasi they bring fresh people, they bring in new faces, they bring in new networks where we can get. Kasi yung funding kasi ng MAD, it comes from the friends of our friends. We don't really rely on big organizations like for example Metrobank Foundation. So we don't solicit big amount. So it's really a personal thing kasi katulad sir ng sinabing CSR 3.0, that's really a personal social responsibility. That's where we bank. Kasi sir, yung parang someone, kapag kayo sir, if you want to do something, use your networks, use your personal friends, inspire them to make also a difference in their own ways. Kasi they can volunteer, if they can't volunteer their time, their presence, they can volunteer their resources.
Where do you have the stories placed? Is there a site and blog?
We have this, we partnered with Rappler. So they have this platform called X.Rappler where that's part of Mad Talks also, wherein we ask the volunteers to write their volunteer stories and have it uploaded.
It's called CSR Stories.
Ayun sir.
CSR Stories.blogspot.com.
Ayun.
It's run by Jojo. Pero yan, if you're there, yan ang nakikita ng mga sponsors. So you may want to even, in fact, that was one of the things I was going to say to the bigger group. At the very least, post a link